Yeah, I don't think Gary O'Neill's the right guy for the job. I just don't think it's not. And again, culturally, I think style of play you could say is more closely aligned to Klopp than Jose's style of play is. And that's probably more my issue than anything else with Jose. If I was a Liverpool fan, is we've been training and playing a particular way for 9 years. Bringing someone like a Jose in, how alien is that going to be to these players? I'm not saying you need to Is he going to look at the players that are there and go, yeah, you can play my style of football where you sit firm, you sit tight, we counter attack sides. I don't know if they're built. I'm not saying don't get a win now manager, but I don't know if Jose's style of football is going to intertwine well with what Liverpool already have. He's not available. If you're going to get a win now manager, someone like a Carlo Ancelotti would be perfect for Liverpool right now of that level. But of course, he's at Real Madrid and he ain't leaving them. Not when Mbappe's about to arrive. Why the hell would he leave? This guy could go on to win his 5th or 6th Champions League title in the next few years. Insane. He's not risking that. But I agree with what you were saying so much, Dan. There's loads of managers in the world right now with the potential to become winners, but there are very few winners. You've got Pep, you've got Ancelotti, you have got Jose and Conte whose CVs have it on there. You've got a few guys in Italy that have won league titles over there. But I mean, who are the active managers that have actually won Champions Leagues? Like, genuine question.
Tuchel. Where Di Matteo are? Is he managing?
Thomas Tuchel's going to be available, isn't he? At the end of the season, he's won a Champions League. Obviously, you've got.
No one likes him. No one likes Tuchel.
No, they don't. Do they? They don't. I don't.
No one likes Tuchel. You got Flick. I swear Flick's won one.
Hansi Flick available. Mourinho is available.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about managers who are available that have actually won major leagues and won Champions Leagues. You've got Tuchel, you've got Flick, you've got Jose. I mean, you've got Conte, who's a winner, but Conte's European record, by the way, is absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
So you could almost discount him from that list. Obviously, there's Zinedine Zidane, who's out there as well. And you start looking at it, everybody else, even if they've won. And by the way, Ruben Amorim, yes, he won league titles in Portugal, but Ten Hag had won league titles in the Eredivisie, right? There are question marks over Slot. There's question marks over Almarin's. Of course, there's question marks over the likes of Gary O'Neill. The problem that you've got, the managers with the winning pedigree, there's huge question marks over most of them in terms of can they still deliver? Would they fit Liverpool's ethos and footballing philosophy? Everybody else is a risk. There is no, for me, hard and fast. I thought Alonso was the guy, but he said, and by the way, Alonso's right to stay. The more I think about it.
Yeah, he is.
He needs enough. He needs more experience before going to a club with the pressure that comes from those guys. There is no obvious fit for Liverpool.
And that's what Gary O'Neill should do, by the way. That's what Gary O'Neill should do, is stay at Wolves, in my opinion, right? And actually, because people will say, I saw earlier on a WhatsApp group, said, oh, this is just like David Moyes to Man United or Potter to Chelsea. It's not. It's actually worse than that, because Moyes actually proved himself at Everton, got him in the Champions League. Graham Potter put an unbelievable style of football to Brighton and did really, really well with them, and won stuff at Ostersunds and learnt his trade at Swansea. Gary O'Neill was in his first proper kind of management role, because at Bournemouth, he took over as a caretaker and they sacked him. Right, and he did well, by the way. This is his first job. He's done a very, very good job. They've had a lot of injuries, Wolves, and a lot of stuff go against them. It put him in a great, great role. If he goes there, to me, that is far too soon. There is such a difference between managing at Wolves and managing at Liverpool. It is absolute chalk and cheese. And for me, I think it would be a bad move for Gary O'Neill. And I like what he's doing at Wolves. I just think it would be poor. I think Liverpool need to go for a Hansi Flick or a manager like that, because they will go in there. They know what they're doing in the Champions League. They know what they're doing to go and win things, and that gives them a better chance. And this style of play thing is just absolute crap. I'm sorry. It's absolute nonsense for me. Like, they might not enjoy that style of play. Grew up on George Graham, and it wasn't exactly attractive. But you know what? I celebrated just as much we won Premier Leagues and FA Cups as I did when Wenger did it beautifully. Do you know what I mean? When you win stuff, I don't really care what your style of football is, because you win stuff. So, yes, of course, the perfect combination is Pep Guardiola and LB going, we play beautiful football and win everything. That's a dream. That doesn't happen all the time. So, for me, if Liverpool want someone to come in and play Klopp football, forget it. It ain't going to happen. They might have to play a different style of football to win stuff, because that's what football's about, man. That's the way I see it anyway.
Well, listen, again, I agree and disagree at the same time. If there's no one that can get anywhere near Klopp's level playing that style, you may have to look at a different option. It's the same with a player. You know, when I remember when Keane left for years, we needed the new Roy Keane. we tried to a couple of times bring in similar profiles, didn't work. We only got the new Roy Keane when we went for a completely different player in Michael Carrick. And sometimes you have to do that. However, what they need to be mindful of is that they bring in a manager whose style of play is still suited to the squad they've got. Because if they need to overhaul the squad to fit the manager, then you are doing a semi-rebuild. That win now approach is not relevant because you've got to change. And that's what we did wrong with Jose. Jose needed to change 95% of the squad to win. Therefore, he should never have been appointed. And I think that's what they've got to get right. And I'll be honest with you, I'm at a little bit of a loss, and Liverpool fans seem to be as well, because some saying Julian Nagelsmann is perfect, but he isn't, because he just re-signed a deal with Germany. He doesn't want to become, and that's the weirdest thing about this Liverpool appointment. I thought people would be queuing up for the job after Klopp, but it does appear like people at Almarin's like, no, I don't want to go there. You've got, Jose would probably take it. He wants a big opportunity somewhere, but Alonso said no.
Do you think, Terry, people are looking at the Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger thing and going, oh, I don't want that, so let someone else go in there first after Klopp? Because I don't, maybe they are. Maybe they're looking at it going, Unai Emery, look at him now, fantastic manager. But everyone was like, cool, look at this after Wenger. And likewise with David Moyes. Maybe they're not. I'm just thinking, like, why would anyone turn down Liverpool? I just don't get it. I don't get that.
I do get the Fergie Wenger. I mean, but he ain't no Fergie, is he? Like, do you know what I mean? Fergie.
No.
But at the same time, I do get the premise.
He's seen as a legend at Liverpool, isn't he? That's what
he does feel a little bit. I mean, the one thing I would say is this: I know not all Liverpool fans don't always agree. They're a very well-run club, and Edwards is back. And I don't agree with the stories from James Pearce that they haven't looked at Gary O'Neill. The article that's put the news out earlier is a big Liverpool person, very well connected to the club. He isn't going to lie about the interview. They may now not be considering him since that story came out. Liverpool might say, oh, we did interview him yesterday, but we've got no interest in him. But that doesn't mean you haven't looked at him. And the fact you've looked at him is interesting for me. But equally, I think they're right to interview and speak to people, because you can unearth some gems sometimes that nobody else. I mean, before Pep became Barca's manager, none of us know who Pep is as a manager. We know the player. If somebody said, oh, we're going to bring through like a coach from behind the scenes at the club who's never managed a team in his life, in Pep Guardiola, most of us would have said that's fucking stupid. No, even what happened with Zidane, that's not the normal approach to bring in an unknown. Does that make sense? Most of the time, they're not really they don't really define what it is to be a manager. Sometimes there are hidden gems out there that go on to be brilliant that you don't know about. And maybe it's probably right to interview a Gary O'Neill, because maybe he says something or he brings a plan where you go, fucking hell, this is amazing. No one else is speaking or doing this. And it might end up being a great appointment. But I think Gary O'Neill's got some quality in him, but it ain't right for him right now. Honestly, I don't know who they should bring in. Honestly, I don't know why. I know Liverpool fans hate him. I keep thinking De Zerbi's right for him, because I like De Zerbi, but a lot of people don't.
You've got to on the interview thing. This is the biggest decision Liverpool have had to make in over a decade. You know what I mean? And this could set the trajectory of the next 5 years for Liverpool. They have to interview people. They have to speak to people. So Amorim, a lot of Liverpool fans wanted Amorim, right? Probably a lot of them never even watched Sporting Lisbon in their life, but that's what we do as fans. You know what I mean? We see a video on YouTube saying why Liverpool should get Amorim, and we're all like, get him. But no, he could have turned up in an interview and said something that just like the whole board at Liverpool Football Club's like, whoa, no, this isn't how we want to go. And then all of a sudden you've uncovered something. So, this is due diligence. They have to do this. I agree with you, Tay. I don't know where Liverpool go from here. Like I said, I think Xavi Alonso would have been a good fit. Would have been a risk, of course. It's still early days, but he would have been a good fit. The Liverpool fans would have bought into him because he's ex-Liverpool. Everyone else, I'm kind of just like, there's going to be a split in the fan base. It could potentially get toxic if the fans really get split. Like this is where I sort of see, like, the Mourinho situation. Just quickly going back to this again. Like, whilst it potentially is worth the risk, if you get Mourinho, there's going to be some Liverpool fans that really, really don't like that, and that's where it could get a little bit toxic. And for the last 9 years, Liverpool fans have all been together under Klopp. They've all backed him. And do you really want to throw that in the bin? But like you say, there's no easy option, man. I was literally yesterday looking at the names on the odds to see who's favourite and going down, and I'm looking at the list, and it is just poor.
I haven't looked at it. Next Let's have a little look now.
I think Arnie Slot was a favourite
man.
yesterday when I checked it, and then De Zerbi was third.
See, I don't know a lot about Slot. I mean, suddenly though, in the last 24 hours, everybody's an expert. So Almarin's still favourite according to Odds Checker here, and then it's De Zerbi. Slot's now gone down to third. Gary O'Neill currently fourth favourite. Then Motta, then Jose Mourinho, then Thomas Frank, then Tuchel's way down the pecking order. Then Pep Lijnders. I mean, what Liverpool fans in the comments? What about Pep Lijnders taking over? Like, what about that? Like, I'm asking because I don't know. And then Zidane at 33. Everyone after that is just not going to. I mean, Emery's 40-1, but he's just signed a new deal, so we know that isn't happening.
Well, you know the Pep Lijnders one, Terry. Yeah. If there is literally no one there that you think is good enough, is the best option just to say,
wait,
let's give him a year, yeah, and then we'll look again next summer. And in the perfect scenario, Pep Lijnders turns out to be the guy, and everyone's like, oh my god, we can just keep him. Great news. But it saves you from appointing someone on a 3 or 4 year contract that absolutely bombs, and then, like you say, the thing with De Zerbi, yeah. I think I need to see him another year. I think it's too soon to appoint him right now. I think I need to see him one more year in the Premier League. So get Pep Lijnders in, and then maybe have a look at De Zerbi next year. Maybe have a look at Gary O'Neill next year, where they've got more experience.
At the risk of triggering Dan, Man United are at the beginning of a project and a process, right? So I think a De Zerbi is fine for that. I get your point with Liverpool being win now because of the squad they've got. It's a different scenario. But I think you're right. Liverpool fans saying no to Pep Lijnders. Let me throw this out to you. You as fans have praised your club for 9 years for not rushing transfers. We wanted Van Dijk. Couldn't get him in the summer. We didn't panic and buy someone else. We waited and we got him. And you've done that on a number of occasions. So why not have that same approach for a manager? If the ideal individual isn't available, why not leave it a year? I know, why not? Like, give it, honestly, tell the panel now, tell me, Dan, and LB why that's not worth attempting. Give me your thoughts. It's a great point. It's a really, really great point, LB, in terms of give it a year and then see who becomes available, see who could become the manager then.
I would assume, Terry, that people who are against that are people that want a Mourinho, a Simeone style manager, someone who's won stuff. Yeah, I mean, people who are like, yeah, De Zerbi, like, we'll take him. They're probably more open to having Pep Lijnders. But as we've said, this is a team that is ready to win. They are not in the same position as United. Just to clarify, United are not in a position to win. They are about to start a process. They're going down the Arsenal route, starting the process, and then hopefully, well, for them, 3 to 4 years. Terry hopes a bit sooner. They'll be ready to compete. Liverpool are not at that. Liverpool are not in a process. They're ready to win now. So, yeah, that's why. Listen, if it was me, I think I'd send Mourinho, and I'd accept the risks. I'd be fully open to the risks. I'd do the disclaimers. This could go south. You know what I mean? This could, our club could be destroyed in a year. All the players might want to leave. It could get toxic real quick. But the potential flip side is one stuff, Champions League, Premier League, many trophies, is a winner. It hopefully will keep the team together because Salah and these players might go, I'll give it one more year, and you could potentially win stuff. But I get the risks, man. Listen, it's not easy. I think that's why you've still not got an announcement for who the next manager is, because it's clearly not for the people that are making the decision at Liverpool, they must be like chopping and changing their mind every day, man.
I think Conte or Hansi Flick would probably be more preferred to Liverpool fans than Mourinho, just because they hate him. Do you know what I mean? If they want one of those type
managers, want Conte over Mourinho, bro? Would you want Conte over Mourinho?
I wouldn't want either of them because they got the Spurs lurgy, mate. I'll go for Flick.
Yeah, Flick. I guess Flick is the sort of like more neutral option of those guys, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Before I said it could get toxic between Liverpool fans if they get like a Mourinho in, because some of them will want it and some of them will be proper against it. Is anyone really going to be sitting there going, I don't want Flick? You know what I mean? You might get someone who's like not. I think that's why
Flick would be the best for me. If I'm looking from the outside looking in, Hansi Flick would be good for Liverpool. I think that would be a good thing. And I don't even think that Thomas Tuchel would be a shocking shout either. But some people seem to hate him for some reason. So, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.